Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to your Monday night live stream. I'm your host, Sir Ashley. I am a real estate advisor licensed in both North and South Carolina, and I try to bring you these live shows every week talking about the housing market nationally, in the Charlotte area, in the Carolinas. And today I was scouring the internet trying to figure out what topic to talk about. And I couldn't really figure out anything. There's the uh, One Big Beautiful Bill Act I can talk about, but I already have a video coming out about that. Talk about the housing market here in Charlotte, but we went in depth last week about that. So open it up to you. Any questions or anything you want to know about the greater Charlotte market or the Carolinas, let us know. A little bit about me. I've been in real estate for over about going on 13 years now. I've been licensed about 8 years. I first got into real estate flipping houses as an investor, and that's what I fell in love with it. Former practicing attorney. I was investing while practicing law, and then developed my passion for real estate and stopped practicing law. And here we are now. Fortunate enough to have a brokerage. Shout out to the 5 people that signed on, that joined our team within the last 48 hours. So thankful for that. We're here to grow, here to just empower other real estate professionals and make sure that you're equipped to succeed in this ever-changing business and in this market. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Right now, do me a favor, hit that like button, share. Again, we're talking about just real estate in general, the Charlotte market, and I have a guest, somebody that I was trying to get to come over to my brokerage for quite some time. She's very knowledgeable. If Do not think she's not shy, for one, so don't let her pretend to be shy on here. Abby, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
I'm doing well, doing very well. It's as we were talking backstage, Monday. It was I was gonna say it was a case of the Mondays. I don't know how old you are. Office Space was one of my favorite movies growing up. It was a case of the Mondays. It was a lot going on today. How are you doing today? I think she's frozen. Can you hear me? Or maybe it's me. In the chat, can you put a thumbs up or thumbs down if you can hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs down. I guess you can't hear me, so you can't do thumbs down. But my internet's a little shaky. All right, we have a question regarding the River District. Abby, you're familiar with the River District, right? Ah, Abby's stream keeps cutting out. She just sent me a text. I apologize. So the River District, any new builds ready to move in? No, they're not ready to move in. I was actually at I got the builders confused. David Weekly last week. Abby, are you there? All right. We're working on that. With David Weekly last week, and toward the model, and I can send it to you, Vivian. Although the model, they'll show you the finishes and the quality, but they're no longer making that floor plan right now in this phase. So to answer your question, no, there's nothing ready to move in right now. They have sold. They had 2 more properties left for the single family. Now there's several townhouses that are being built and under construction by DRB, and one other builder that will be available, but nothing's finished. And so that is a challenge we're having with that, because everybody is harping. They want the River District. It's going to be beautiful. Um, but there's nothing quite ready to move in yet. But I'll keep you posted. And I am in communication with all of the builders and the sales reps to see when things are becoming available. And the pricing in the River District is it's going to shoot up fast. It already has increased. So if you wait until they're already complete, I'm not talking to just you, Miss Vivian. If anybody waits till they're already complete, you're going to be paying the premium as opposed to getting in on the ground level. Oh, no. All right. So when will they be available? Vivian, I'm thinking the single family homes won't be available until late fall, early 2026. Now they have sold, they were 14 home sites, I believe, that were released. 12 of them are under contract. The other ones are still, I think they're still available. As of last week, there was 2 available. Now the pricing on there was high 5s, low 6s. So again, those are for the single family. The townhomes by DRB will be a little bit more, it'll be less expensive. River District, yeah, River District. Leslie, I'm tuned in. Very interested in your take on what's going to happen to the market given the recent BBB being passed. Man, good question. So, one of somebody I consider a friend. He comes on here occasionally. Actually, most weeks he comes on here. But he's a former client of mine, turned friend, and I'm trying to get him into the fold of lifestyle. He called me. I couldn't talk, but we had a text conversation about this. The what One Big Beautiful Bill Act that was signed by Trump I think Friday. And what do I think about it? I'll get into that in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let's see if Abby. How you feeling, Abby? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. So we have Leslie ask about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and I was going to jump into that. But before I jump into that, Derek has a question because again, I want to talk about Charlotte first, and I can talk about the Big Beautiful Bill Act because I've done a video on it. I just haven't released it. Can you speak on the numbers that have come in showing overflow of inventory in the South? Yes, I can. So right now, just nationally, well, in the Northeast, there's not really a huge surplus of inventory comparatively to the South and different parts of the West Coast. In the South, I'm including Texas in there as well. Um, we have a, this is where it gets shaky. You talk about the overflow of inventory. What we have is we have inventory and they're just not matching the buyers. We have tons of buyers out on the market right now. Actually, Abby and I were talking about this before jumping on. There's tons of buyers in the market right now. Actually, pre-approvals applications have been going up for the last 22 weeks. So more people are coming to the market to buy. The challenge is the pre-approval amount, the purchase price they're trying to pay, or the monthly payment they're trying to pay does not equal the price of the inventory out in the market right now. So you have that delta where there's let's say a whole bunch, significantly more inventory than it was the last few years. And the people that are approved, either they can afford it, but don't want to make that monthly payment. They don't want to be house poor, or they just can't afford it. And that's the discrepancy we're having right now. And there's ways in which, in creative ways, and I don't mind sharing these with you, that we can accomplish and bridge that gap. I was able to do so this past weekend. Shout out to one of my clients. He knows who he is. Him and his sisters and mom watch every Monday. 23-year-old young man, has a job, saved up significant amount of money. And I'm like, I wish I was in your position at 23. You are, you're light. And he's definitely ahead of the game. But he got pre-approved for a certain amount. And although he technically, based on the pre-approval amount, could afford it, he knew that he didn't want to pay that monthly payment at that certain price, right? And you have to know what you're comfortable with. So what we ended up doing, and I don't have a problem. The builder was Lennar. Lennar and Abby, you have a situation with new construction too. I want you to share.
Hmm.
Lennar, right now, presently, they're aware of the stats that I just shared. Much more pre-approvals are hitting the market, right? So right now, they are only, at least in this community, it varies by community, they're only offering $10,000 seller concessions and closing costs. Now, some markets you might be like, oh, $10,000, that's great. Well, $10,000 covers the closing cost, but he would have had a 6.75 around there interest rate. That's not where we want to be. That's not where we want to be for Lennar or any builder. Abby, when you were dealing with new construction, what was the incentive that was being offered?
So it depends. Like
Mhm.
he was saying, it depends on the community, definitely, and the builder that you're at. My experience was actually with a Mattamy community, and they just that community alone, they were offering 6% plus another 2% on top of it to take care of buying down the interest rate permanently too, which is a beautiful thing right now in the new construction world is that you aren't getting locked in at these high rates like on a resale home because they're able to do things on their end to make it work and save a lot of money right now for people on payments.
No, most definitely. We're able to see that. And so what ended up happening with my client is one, the purchase price is always the purchase price. Like we can make an offer. We're not paying the purchase price in today's market, right? So we made an offer. They didn't accept the offer. It almost felt like we were in a car dealership. You know, when you go to buy a car, you're pretty much there for an excessive amount of time till you come to an agreement, or you just walk up and leave. Well, we were there from 10 a.m. and I don't think we left the sales office, which is a garage of a house, if you looked, um, until like 5:30. So we were there all day negotiating, finagling, trying to figure out how to position it because it is just a game. I consider it a puzzle, playing chess, to where they have a product that they want to sell. They need to sell, right? My client wants to buy a home. Does he need to buy a home right now? Absolutely not. He's perfectly fine where he is, but he wants to buy. And yes, the builder could wait. They could play hardball and wait till somebody else decides they want to come in and buy the home. But you already have a bird in hand right now. So why would you chance it? You don't know how long you're going to be waiting for that next buyer to come in that wants this home. And if it happens to be after the home is completed, that's carrying costs that you have to cover and everything like that, right? So we were negotiating back and forth for literally hours, getting approval from management and different things like that, to where we worked it out to where he was able to get his monthly payment right in the range he wanted it in, and we got a fixed 30-year interest rate at 4.375. So it was a win-win. The builder ended up getting the price they wanted, right? We were able to get over $40,000 worth of concessions when they were only offering what 10, right? We're able to get over $40,000 in concessions, and as opposed to the 6.75 or 6.67 whatever interest rate in the sixes, high sixes, he has a 30-year fixed rate at 4.35%. So my hat goes off to him.
That's
And
unheard of
yeah, exactly, right?
right
It
now.
all depends on who you work with and how your agent is able to really put things together. Because one thing I have to shout out and thank, just being surrounded by good people and them seeing the work I do, and really put me in places to succeed, is I have to shout out Meritage, Sharika, Trey, Jebby, all of you all. Thank you, because being able to take part in what they're doing allow me to see behind the scenes of how builders, one, they need to make a profit, right? They need to get their bottom line, but where we can push and pull. from these funds, right? And I'm not going to say all real estate agents don't know this, but I wasn't privy to this extent of how you're able to push and pull. And it really is just a puzzle to put all the pieces together because they want to sell, we want to buy, but you have to know where to ask for things to able to make it palatable for the builder, the seller to accept that offer, right? Because literally at one point, the management was like, we can't do it. We can't do it. Like we tried, and that was going to be it. And again, thank you to past relationships I have. I was able to like, hey, how about we're looking at it the wrong way. We need to look at it this way, and we were able to get it done. So shout out to one my clients for trusting me. Shout out to Maria at Lennar. Thank you. And just know who you work with matters when you're trying to accomplish your goal. Because hearing no, some people would have just walked away. Like, no, offer's not accepted. And then you might have, most people wouldn't have negotiated for 6.5 hours to make it happen. And it's one of those things to where you can negotiate on the phone, but no, we're right there in front of you. So you need to go make a phone call. By all means, go make the phone call. We're right here. All right, let's get back to it. Real quick, this one right here. Any new construction near Camp North End? There is, but they're townhomes. And Abby, can you look up what it's a Toll Brother community by Camp North End? Look it up. I believe prices are in the high fives, if not low sixes. I can't think of it right now. I remember Claudia was at that community when she was at Toll Brothers. But back to
and depends on your price point too, right? Because there's a bunch of those really nice ones not too far from Camp North End, but I believe they're pretty up there, like 800, 900,000.
that might be what I'm thinking of because they might have started off at like high fives, low sixes, and now they're just booming.
Yeah, anything around that area in Charlotte anymore, you're not getting it very cheap.
And the crazy thing is, when I moved to Charlotte, 14, 15 years ago, like they were giving houses away and property and land away over there. Now, it's tough to get in there.
Yeah.
It's tough to get in there. But the Big Beautiful Bill Act, what are my thoughts? Quick overview. I literally have a 10-minute video, 9.5-minute video coming out on it. But overview is, it is a great thing for property owners and investors. And what I mean by that is if you're a property owner with the SALT deduction, you're able to, your tax bill, you should be able to get up to $10,000. Now you go up to $40,000 writing off. So you basically give yourself a raise by that much more, that $30,000 difference. And if you're coming from high tax states, that is a blessing for you. Thinking of Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. So property owners, win. Investors, a win, because you're able to speed up depreciation. Speed up depreciation to where, again, this is an example in the video, where let's say when I buy a home to renovate it, and I buy a home and then I renovate it, I put $50,000 into it, I can depreciate all the money over the time of the loan, right? Historically. Well, right now, and it was the case prior, but it went away. But now it's back in to where if I buy a home and I put $50,000 into it, I can depreciate all 50,000 this year. So I don't have to wait on it. So it really is, hey, if you don't want to pay taxes or want to pay less taxes, buy more property, renovate it, get that money back. And it obviously increases your property value and all that stuff. But it's one of those things to where investors are going to get ahead. I already got a couple calls from investors about, hey, can you find me some fixer uppers? Right? Because again, just the tax benefits. Now, how do I think that impacts? And again, so I was talking to my client turned friend um, about what does that mean, and I believe that it's going to have a negative impact on first-time home buyers and renters because the price point where first-time home buyers is at is the same price point investors like to shop in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So right now, presently, first-time home buyers, there's a lot of selection on the market right now, right? Now, granted, it may be, Abby, you mentioned this, it may
Yep.
not be in your desired location, right? Um, but there's a lot of properties on the market that are in your price point. It just might not
It's
be
a
in your
get in
desired
where you fit
location.
in market for first time home
It is.
buyers.
It is. But my concern is even like once all the investors are become aware of this, once their CPA or whatever lets them know about this bill passing, like you're already uncomfortable with the distance or the location of the homes that these first time home properties are as far as price. Once the investors buy it, that's only going to push you even further out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're even going to have a further commute than where you want to be if you want to be a homeowner. So right now, again, I've mentioned videos. I did a video maybe 2 weeks ago about down payment assistance, various things like that. Now, this market is the time to capitalize on all of those things because you have time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And all the investors have not come into the market. So where if you're a seller, you have a cash buyer or somebody that's an investor that's probably going to flip it or rent it out that's going to give you your price, or you have somebody that's going to give you your price, but first time home buyer, which shouldn't be a detriment, but they have to get down payment assistance programs, which adds uncertainty to whether or not they're going to be able to close. As a seller, you want certainty. Yes, you would love to be able to help that first time home buyer, but you have to move on with your life as well. So you're going to get that sure thing. More than likely, people take the sure thing, the investor money, and then that first time home buyer is out of luck. So it's just one of those things we have to consider when you're waiting, trying to play the waiting game, trying to time things. Um,
Your
in the
agent's
last,
important.
yeah, agent is
Creative
definitely
lending
important.
is important in this
That's
market.
definitely, yep.
Agent knowing that,
Mhm.
hey, we need so much money. So when we put in an offer, let's ask for it back.
Yeah.
Give them what they
Now,
want and make it happen.
talk to me about you just said creative and needing that much money. Now, many
Mm-hmm.
people think seller concessions are only with new construction. Talk to me about creative lending and needing that much money even when it comes to resale.
So I have a perfect example actually where it was a first time home buyer in North Carolina, which North Carolina is very different. I'm sure you've heard it from past clients from other states too, sir, where it's not the same. So you really
Mhm.
need to lean on your realtor when you come here because you can't just do things on your own. So they wanted this house, and it was a house that at the time it was pretty highly desired. Um, so we they knew it was the house. They fell in love with the house. Working with my lender partner, I was able to we it sounds crazy, but we actually went over asking price
Yep.
so that we could ask for about 20,000 back in seller concession, and they brought little to the table because even though they were like, "Wait, we're gonna give above what the price is?" Yeah, but in the end, it ended up saving them like $600 on their mortgage payment versus saving $10,000 all in the total over the purchase price. So it's just knowing that those things are available too, to make it happen. So if you want to be a home buyer and you think that you need $30,000 to buy a home, that's totally not true. It's
Hmm.
doable. Any situation for the most part is pretty doable when it comes to this market, especially right now.
No, I totally agree. It's just, again, thinking outside the box. Um, a lot of times, and I'm not disparaging anybody because we all had to start somewhere, but the majority of the agents out right now got their, like, that are practicing, got their license in the last 5 years, right? So they haven't experienced anything other than the COVID market. They don't know what it was like in 2014 or in 2018, 2019. And right now, inventory levels are right around where it was in 2018, 2019. I think it's around 2018. But interest rates are significantly higher,
Mhm.
right? Well, I say significantly, about a point and a half higher than it was at that point. So while there's, and also we have more population in the area and more people coming to the area right now too. So it's putting us, it's a, like, this area is just weird because we have an influx of people. So we have a demand. That's why you see mortgage applications and people clamoring, wanting to find a home, wanting a home, but the inventory isn't quite matching up with their pre-approval amount. So it is just weird.
Mhm.
And that's when you get creative to where, okay, let me offer more, but you're not going to pocket that seller. You're going to give that right back to me so
Yep.
I can get my mortgage payment where I want it at. You get your price, I get my mortgage payment where it's at. Actually, you get above your price to where it also helps the neighborhood to where property values stay high. But I'm able to get my mortgage payment comfortably between, people I've talked to want anywhere between 22 to $2,700. Like, that's the sweet spot right now. And
Mhm.
a lot of times, either you're going outside of Charlotte to do it, or you're getting creative in how you structure your offer to make that happen. Because if within this interest rate environment at 6.75 or right around there, like, in order to get that payment, you have to find a $350,000 home, which I don't know if you've
It's
all looked,
doable.
and it's doable, but it's not going to be that new construction. It's not going to
Mm-mm.
be more than likely in that neighborhood with the great school, just being honest with you. So, but it is doable, but we have to have realistic expectations. But we can get you that $500,000 home at a reasonable payment, not necessarily 2,700, might be few $100 more. If we get some concessions and stuff in there and work those numbers out. Um, I did want to, one, Derek, I hear you asked about Concord. I'll touch on that in 1 second. Um, Vivian, you asked about townhomes. Let me
And
see
while you're
where.
looking at that, I did find that Toll Brothers has the Iron Creek community in the high
Mhm.
fours. That's really close to Music Factory.
Nice. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it is Iron Creek. Yep. Um, so high fours, and we can look that up and see exactly. These are one of the townhomes. This should be sharing. Hold on. I'm awful with sharing. Okay, it is sharing my screen. So the River District is going to have one, apartments. It's going to have single family homes by Stalcy Burbank and David Weekly. But then there's going to be townhomes by Toll Brothers and DRB. These townhomes by DRB, anywhere from, you see it on the screen, 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2 to 3 full baths, one half bath, anywhere from just about 1,900 square feet to 2,300 square feet, starting at 486, 47. And right now, just want to make sure we have right here, you have some available in September, right around, you have the 486, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage, um, 1,900 square feet, one at 514, 515. So yes, that's what's available right now, Vivian, in the River District. And let me check and see. Let me get off of here. There was the Toll Brothers. I'm not even sure. I've talked to people from DRB, so I'm familiar with that product in the River District. I am not, again, I like to be transparent with you all. I'm not intimately familiar. There's a reason with the Toll Brothers townhomes in there, and partly why I'm not familiar is because I go online to look at everything. Right here, you can click on the Toll Brother website to look at the homes in River District, and this is what I'm getting: internal server error. So once they fix it, I'll be able to update you, or you can check it out as well. What's happening regarding their townhomes? Uh, Abby, can you talk to us about Concord? What are your thoughts? While you talk to us about your thoughts, I'm gonna look up data for Concord for
Concord is
Derek.
an outstanding location. It it is an area that even if, and we say struggling, right? I mean, nobody is struggling. Like we're still, this is normal, a normal market. It's not a struggling market. But even like open houses is something that I do frequently. My biggest turnout in open houses is always in Concord. It's just such a hot commodity. It's growing. Kannapolis is basically Concord at this point. So unless there's a reason you're stuck in the Concord area, and it depends, right? Concord's big. You can go towards Harrisburg for Concord. You
Mm-hmm.
can go towards the Kannapolis area for Concord. And they're different. But Concord is only going to start turning into that Harrisburg where the prices are going up, everything is going up, because that's where the north side of Charlotte, that's where it's pushing out to, is the Concords, Kannapolis, Harrisburgs. Um, it's a great area and it's very highly desired by a lot of people.
It most definitely is. And there's a lot of retail development taking place out that way as well. So yeah, no, again, I'd like to harken back to when I first moved to the area. I hated going to Concord. Not gonna lie. One, partly because the courthouse and the judicial system in Cabarrus County is backwards, but I digress. It was pretty. It really wasn't much to do. But in the past handful of years, there's well, winery, but they have a storefront in downtown Concord that has some of the best wine slushies. Can't think of it right now, but wine slushy, downtown Concord. Is really only one wine shop in downtown Concord. Check it out. I recommend it. But looking at the numbers at Concord, again, we're just looking at the median sales price right now, and then we'll jump into the other things as well. In Mecklenburg County, median sale price is 445. In Concord, 375. In Kannapolis, 292. So you just get more bang for your buck as far as
Mm-hmm.
the price of the home. And hold on, this is where it gets a little tricky. I like to always go with single family homes. So I apologize, because when you do all properties, that includes townhomes. And more times than not, I know people are open to townhomes. I like to go off of just the single family. So that was my fault. Mecklenburg County, single family, median sale price is 490. In Concord, 400. Kannapolis still 292. Um, and new construction, you see Concord is 444. Kannapolis is 373. And let's say homes for sale. Let's go all property, sorry. Right now, homes for sale is up in Concord 49% compared to this time last year, 282. Kannapolis up over 52%. So again, I put out the stat last week. The areas with the most amount of showings when a home is listed, it was Kannapolis, Matthews, and I can't think of the third one, but Matthews and Kannapolis were on the list, maybe Concord, but Kannapolis is very attractive right now.
And it's because it's priced right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's only a matter of time too, and it's one of those, like, again, you get in where you fit in. You get in now before they jack the prices up, before it's unaffordable.
And this is one stat that I like to look at. if you're looking to buy and if you're looking to sell, what to expect regarding the offer price and how close it is to the asking price. In Mecklenburg County, you're getting 98.3% of the asking price. Concord, 97.3, Kannapolis, 93.3. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. And again, who you position yourself and take advice from matters, because I can tell you that, but one thing it doesn't tell you is in that asking price, if I ask for $15,000 or $20,000 worth of concessions, right there, it just says that's what they got, 97%, 96% of their asking price, but it doesn't say I'll give you that, but I want $15,000, $20,000 in seller concessions, right? And you have to have somebody that is just in tune on what's happening in different pockets of the market. And again, this is where I believe I'm in a unique position to, one, very good relationship with the builders. I know what they're doing, positioning, and they actually ask me how to position things and everything like that. Two, I have people like Abby who are out in the field every single day and they go under contract and do everything, and I get to see what what's happening. Either one, they ask me for advice, or not even really advice sometimes. Abby just likes to call me and vent. So like sometimes not even advice. They just call me like, "Hey, you wouldn't believe this happened," because she's well equipped and can handle it all on her own. But yeah, so I'm able to hear about what's happening in these different areas and different markets, to where yes, I'm in the field I won't say every day, but every week helping people buy and sell. But I have the luxury of having now over 200 agents. Like, what's going on, what's happening, and having that data, right? um we have a couple questions. Do you have a list of new builders who are offering large incentives? Ones. So I don't have a list. I know who. Well, this is where it gets tricky,
Mm-hmm.
because prior you could, I would just be able to tell you the builders, right? This is what they're offering across the board. Right now, that's not the case, because this Lennar community, where my client went under contract, they're just offering $10,000. But if you go to their website, they're offering rates at 3.99 and up to 42,000. But if you look on the asterisk, it's just select communities. So it's not cohesive throughout. So it really comes down neighborhood by neighborhood, and sometimes not even just like town, because some builders, I'm thinking of one builder in particular, they have two communities in York, South Carolina, but each community has vastly different incentives. So
Well,
it
in the
really comes
Mattamy
down to,
community I went
yep.
to, that's a perfect example because
Hmm.
I went to one today. That's the one I went under contract with, and that was offering the 8%. And the one I went to today, they're only offering 3%.
Yeah.
So it's really just depends on the location and price points and those type of things.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So price point matters and the incentives matter, because as you were mentioning to me earlier, and we talked about this Mattamy community, they're offering 3%, but the price point is seven, $800,000.
Mhm.
So 3% of $700,000 is just as much as far as dollar to dollar as 6% in the $400,000 price point. Right? So it really comes down to the community, price, the demand, and they change. Like, one thing that I loved is when they have an incentive and it lasted all month or 2 months. Now incentives might last a couple days, and then I get an email saying, "Hey, new incentive," or "We've done away with that," because one, as more buyers come to the market, their incentives, typically, this is the general rule, incentives go away or get reduced. So it's just a game they play. But Lester, reach out to Abby or I, and we can talk about the areas you're interested in, the price point, and we can talk about those incentives. Abby, I failed you. How can people get a hold of you? How can they reach you? Please let me know, or let them know.
Yes, so you can reach me on my phone, email or text or call me, 402-429-1387, or you can find me on TikTok or Instagram under Reetz, REETZ, Realty.
Perfect. No, thank you, Abby. And before we wrap up, I'm gonna have you share that information again, just so people know how to reach you and get in contact with you. Uh, she crushes it. I told you when I first introduced her, I was after her for quite some time back in our Temple days. Um, inside joke, those of you familiar with Airsley, South Charlotte, Temple's a place that's no longer in existence. But so yeah, I was after her for a while. So I'm glad she joined Lifestyle, and it's been a blessing. So thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
we have Joy Ruiz is more. She says Morrisville, a better option to move compared to Concord. Not looking for a cookie cutter home. Two boys with special needs, so outside space is important. Um, I like both. I like both. What I would do is, um, again, Concord is huge, right?
Mhm.
So what I would do is, I say huge, it's all relative compared to Mooresville, right? Um, See which schools your kids would be zoned to in Concord, because not every school's the same, right? I love Cox Mill. I have friends who has kids that graduated from there. They absolutely love it. But every school in Concord is not the same, and every school in
Mhm.
Mooresville is not the same. So that's what I would personally I would look at the schools, because both of those areas have new construction. And if you want, um, it's where you say not a cookie cutter home. Uh, Concord has some very unique homes with a lot of character.
Mhm.
Right now, they might be old. They will be older, right? But Mooresville will have some of those older homes, but they would definitely have more new construction where I don't know what your definition of cookie cutter is, but it's not going to be just a box, right? But if you want more character in the home itself, I would say a general rule is Concord has more options for that.
Well, and definitely new construction for if you want a backyard anymore, you're
Hmm.
not gonna have cookie cutter because you won't be able to do cookie cutter if you want a backyard.
Yeah.
That's just unfortunately how it's going right now.
No, I'm with you. Um, Virginia, do you see a high demand for townhomes driving the high number of townhome projects and our buyers starting off looking for single family or selling for townhomes because of price location? Very good question. One, shout out to Virginia. She is a friend as well and client. Thank you. Um, well, right now in Charlotte, again, let me double back. I'm not sure how many of you all been watching, but I was talking about Concord or Canopolis. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go, right here, still pulled up. And we looked at the median sale price, and we were looking at all property types, and then the single family homes, and Canopolis didn't change. The reason why that is because in certain areas, in the greater Charlotte area, townhomes just make more sense because the land cost is outrageous. So in Charlotte proper and maybe just outside of Charlotte, you see tons of townhomes being built because as a developer, as a builder, I get to save cost on materials because you have a lot of shared walls. And I can fit more units in that space, right? Um, But in Canopolis, where I did single family and just all properties, the purchase price didn't change or median sale price didn't change, is because land is not as dense as far as you have more land. So you're not going to see as many townhomes. Now, right now, in the future, I project there will be townhomes. But as of
Mhm.
right now, there's not many townhomes being built outside of Charlotte because you can still get the land as a developer. Well, you got the land at a reasonable price when you got it. So we're seeing that if you want to be in Charlotte proper, yes, more people are opting for townhomes, but that
And it's
is,
not by choice. It's
yeah.
because that's
Hmm.
what they can afford, unfortunately. Most people that I run into, they really don't want a
Hmm.
townhome. They want a single family, but for their location and their price point, they get stuck having to go that route to begin.
And this is where, for me, it's tough. It's just a tough conversation because the townhome, it's not really tough. It's just the reality is tough. And the townhome, the purchase price fits your budget. But one thing they don't tell you is once you add that $150 HOA fee,
Mhm.
it might not be in your budget anymore. At that point, it might make sense to go outside of Charlotte and buy that single family home.
Yep.
So it really comes down to, it really is, again, I maybe I'm a little weird, but everything's a game to me and the puzzle and trying to put things together. So it really comes down to if you can get a pre-approved. Let's talk about. I'm about to bring it home, Virginia. Um, the community, Townhouse Mattamy community. I'm selling Virginia's home. Townhouse Mattamy community right now is probably around 415, right around your where you're at, the home you're selling. But once you add on and you compare the 415 versus your home that's on the market that's higher, but your home has double the square footage, literally double the square footage as the townhome. And people think, oh, the townhome's more affordable. But once you add on the HOA fee, the mortgage, because they have to, when they do your pre-approvals and get qualified, they have to factor in the HOA, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's just more cost beneficial for buyers to look at your single family home versus that $415,000 townhome because the HOA is what it is. So it really, I don't know, it's just a harsh reality that we're in right now. Um, Move-in ready in September. So we have a few. So right now, what we're seeing is I was on the phone with several builders today, from True Homes to Mattamy to DRB to Toll Brothers. What was the other builder? Meritage. Looking for homes that are going to be move-in ready in August or September for several of my clients. And truth is, each of them have about True Homes only had like three, like period, across all their communities, which I thought was insane. But the other ones has a very limited amount. And the reason why that is because when the interest rates did not come down, the builders stopped producing as homes as fast. They slowed
Mhm.
down their production. They're like, why are we going to produce or make these homes if we're just going to end up sitting on them for an extended period of time anyway? That's only going to cost them money once it's completed. So they slowed up their production to meet and match the demand. Excuse me, match the demand. So that's why you don't see as much homes that will be ready in August or September because they slowed down production back in May. Because if you want a home done in
Mhm.
August, September, they would have to start it around May, right?
And
And
there's not like a whole lot of, as far as if I'm reading her question right, like
mhm,
if you're asking about delays, like there typically right now, if a builder says it's gonna be done, it's usually getting done early right now. It's
yeah,
not your home's gonna be ready in September is what they're saying, and it's really not ready until like October, November. Like I'm seeing more, it says September, and you could potentially even close it at end of August. Like a
yeah,
lot of them are getting them done early because they're not putting them on the market until the homes are almost complete in a lot of new construction communities as well.
you make a very good point. I had a client go under contract. It said August, September close, and I was talking to, it's in York, South Carolina. I was talking to the agent, and it's actually going to be ready, and the home is actually going to be ready beginning of August, but they're going to be waiting on gas lines. Like you have to wait for the gas company to come hook up the gas, and that's not
Mhm.
supposed to come out until middle to late August. So that's why that one is sitting. But they are beating the deadline for as
Yep.
far as completion. So that's you're right on point. Because reason why they're able to beat those deadlines is because the workers aren't building a whole bunch of other homes. They
Yep.
can focus on the limited amount because they're not, again, bringing them to the market as fast as they were because the demand has slowed down. Or as
Mhm.
far as not the demand in that price point has slowed down. Right
And they've
now,
gotten smarter too. Builders have
mhm,
just gotten smarter with how they're doing it because of the
yeah,
market we just came out of, where they're not saying we have 140 homes to sell in this community. You can buy any of them. It's we're opening these first 6 homes and these are what we have available and you're going to have to wait until the rest come available. So they're not trying to overcommit to so many people. They're working with a select few and then moving on to the next.
and this is where they get you with that, because this community, where my client went under contract for in Lennar community, is going to be over 800 homes, right? But as of right now, they have like maybe 7 homes available, right?
Mhm.
And what they get you is, okay, all these 7 are sold. Well, when we release them, there's going to be at least a 7 or 8 thousand dollar price increase.
Yep.
So that's how they do it. Um, where are we at? Joy, you're welcome. You're welcome. Derek, yes, high demand areas. Now, where I believe you see the best deals, and I was looking for this for a client of mine who's in town from New York right now. We're gonna go look at homes tomorrow. Is the best deals, in my opinion. Stanley, North Carolina, Dallas, North Carolina,
Mhm.
um, Kannapolis. You can get good deals in Kannapolis and
Gastonia.
Gastonia. Oh, there's tons of yes, Gastonia. Now there's parts of Gastonia, and I say best deals. It's about bang for your buck, and I'm thinking of cost
Yeah.
effectiveness. Um, you can definitely parts of Gastonia have just gotten expensive. If you ask me, like just looking at sheer numbers, you're like, wow. But no, there are parts of Gastonia with new construction that
Mhm.
you can get a 4 or 5 bedroom home in the mid threes right now, right? New construction and work with the right people, get some amazing incentives, regardless of what
Yep.
they're offering. Forget what they're offering. We can finagle it and make it work. Um, so those, in my opinion, do you have any other areas that I saw? I looked at Locust. Locust is I can't no real great deals. They're screaming. Off
Well, South Carolina in general is booming, but if you're looking to be an
yeah
investor, that's not the route to go.
yeah. Um, I talk about it ad nauseum. I like York, South Carolina.
Mhm.
Every builder and their mother is there. Again, some builders have 2 communities in there. In my homes just got an email today. In my homes just opened up a community. True Homes will be opening up one.
Yep.
This one is in Rock Hill, I believe. True Homes, but still, right on the border. I have a video coming out. It is this luxury builder. They came to the office. I'm not saying the name, Abby, but they came to the office a couple of weeks ago, and the quality you get from this builder. Now it's in Rock Hill. It's like Rock Hill, right on the border between Rock Hill and York. The home sites are massive. You easily can fit a huge pool and everything. But the quality of the build, I'm talking about the large baseboards, the window casings, the wainscoting, everything in the fives, low sixes, where if you took that home and brought it 15 minutes closer to Charlotte, still in South Carolina, you brought it to Fort Mill, that home would easily be 900,000,
And you get a yard
and you get a
in those
huge
ones.
yard.
A huge like they don't
Yeah,
that's the first community I've seen in a long time where
yeah.
the lots are actually lots where you aren't up next to somebody.
This is where so most of the lots when you go look at new home communities, the lot sizes are 40 feet, 50 feet, and if it's a fancy community, you might get 60 feet, like front road frontage. Every lot in this community is 90 feet, 90 feet road frontage, and your driveway is 20 feet, right? So it is like, I have daughters. If I did not have kids, and I weren't worried about what school they were going to, and again, I just don't know the schools in the area, so I don't want to move them from where they're at right now. I would look at that community personally. Um, I need to go ahead and just put the video out. I'll do that. But how far is York from South Charlotte? Depends where at in York, but it's right there. I think you're muted, Abby. Hold on.
There we
There you
go.
go.
You just go through, honestly, you're going to go through Steel Creek, Tega Cay to get there. And from there, it's probably, once you get through that area, you're 20 minutes. So it depends what side of South Charlotte you're talking about. But I would say you're 35, 40 minutes to uptown-ish area from York.
Now, I have to give a caveat. I like to say the pros and cons. If there's an accident on South Tryon or traffic, you might as well hope you packed a lunch. I hope you packed a lunch, because it really is it's a 2-lane highway. You're going in and out. But if it's flowing, yes, you can get there 30, 40 minutes. Well, from South Charlotte, 15 minutes. But I'm thinking of from York to uptown. We actually had a couple agents that work here in this office right here move to York, because again, if you want best bang for your buck, in my opinion, York, South Carolina, is where it's at. We're going in on an hour. I did not pull you behind the curtain. I was low-key panicking on what are we going to talk about today, because I looked at all the articles and I couldn't see anything that was going to be like riveting, other than the big beautiful bill, where I didn't want to not do it justice and really dive in and get granular with it. So I wanted to I am putting out a video. Should be Wednesday. I want to say tomorrow, but I have like 4 people I need to call back tonight, so I probably won't get to it tonight. Abby, you did wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. You all go ahead, hit a thumbs up, give Abby, tell her thank you for jumping on. And Abby, can you please tell people how can they contact you one more time?
Yep. So you can contact me by phone at 402-429-1387. Or you can find me on TikTok, Instagram at Reetz, REETZ, Realty. And yeah, that's where you can get me.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with friends and colleagues. Every week. That really is my goal. Every week, come to you at the live stream to talk about the market. And if I don't believe there's anything like exhilarating to talk about, we can just jump on and answer any questions you may have, because right now, this market is all over the place, depending on the price point, depending on the location, which you can get away with in parts of North Charlotte, you can't get away with in different parts of Charlotte proper, and surely can't get away with it in South Charlotte. So it really comes down to who you're working with and the information they have, because they may believe that this offer is going to win, right? And it might have worked in a different part of Charlotte or a different neighborhood. So you just need to make sure you vet who you work with and make sure that they have a solid team around them, because nobody does it alone, right? So thank you all for your time. Abby, stay with me for a second. But no, y'all have a good night. Thank you for rocking with us.
Thank you.